Okay, it is 6 o'clock. I know that folks are still joining, but we are going to get started on this meeting. I appreciate you all joining me virtually here for this meeting. I can remember a year ago my first parent meeting in the high school cafeteria, and it's been a crazy year ever since then, to say the least. I am going to go over our agenda here, and just know that there's going to be some time at the end for any sort of questions that you guys have. If there's anything that you want to get down that you don't want to forget, go ahead and send me a message in the chat box. In the meantime, please, as you're coming in, please make sure to leave your name also in the chat, just so we know who is in attendance at this meeting, if you haven't done so already. So today, we're going to hear from our Heritage High School Athletic Association and all the awesome work that they do. Their president, Stacy Cole, is on the call. We're going to hear from Dr. Angel Bermudez from Ascension St. Mary Sports Med, and he's going to share some information on an awesome new partnership that we are going to be starting this year. I'll talk about some office topics, just your basic every year, what you need to know about being a student athlete and a parent of a student athlete at Heritage. And then we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive into any kind of updates we have related to COVID-19, any updates we have from the MHSAA. And then I just want to show you guys our website as kind of our center point, and our social media. I'll probably talk about that a few times. You can see our website at the bottom of the slide, heritagehawksathletics.com. And then also our social media and other contact information is posted on this slide and every slide as well. And also want to let you know that this is being recorded, and we are going to work to get it posted once the recording has uploaded as well. So if you need to go back and reference anything from today, or you need to see that contact information or social media information, you'll be able to do so that way. So we are going to start with the Athletic Association, and Stacy Cole, their president. Stacy, I believe you are on, so feel free at this point to unmute yourself, and you've got the floor.
Okay, can you hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, thanks, Justin.
Yep.
Like Justin mentioned, my name is Stacy. I'm the current president of the Athletic Association. For those of you who aren't real familiar with this, if you're new to the school or maybe just haven't had a lot of information, our main goal is to raise funds to assist our athletic department in supporting our student athletes. Logistic-wise, we normally meet every second Monday of the month. Right now we have to do it via Zoom, but hopefully soon we'll be able to meet in person. To give you a little bit of an idea of things we have provided in the past and how we help the athletic department, some of the things that we provide, all, as you can see listed, all the varsity letters, the numbers, the patches, all of those awards, we do provide those for all teams at Heritage. And our budget's approximately $8,000 for that. We do offer 8 $1,000 scholarships to graduating seniors, 4 to boys, 4 to girls. And then just there's much more equipment that we've purchased in the past, but just some idea to let you know. We did assist with purchasing the new video boards that'll help bring in revenue that in the future that will help all teams at Heritage. We purchased some tempo trainers for the swimming team. We replaced the swim blocks. The water station you see out at the football field and at various sports is something that we assisted in. A stencil for the hawk and the fields. A lot of different equipment, and busing for the ski team. Since Apple Mountain closed, they had to go to Snow Snake. And then also we provided fan buses for the teams that move forward quite a ways into the playoffs. But just so you know, we do annually budget for these extra expenses, $18,000 a year. So the majority of our funds are raised through the Hawkshin, which a lot of you know we were unable to have last year. Another factor related to COVID. So really now more than ever, we're hoping there's not going to be any hitches this year. We are still planning to have it in April, but we really need to make this event as successful as possible. Just to give you an idea, last year we raised over $30,000 at our auction. So it is a really big ticket item for us. But we, as always, we cannot do it without you. We actually had a lot of parents whose kids graduated, so they're not active in the association, leaving a lot of holes. There were some parents who were very, very involved. So we really do need people to come and step up and help us for those. Some of the ways that we're specifically looking, as you can see listed, our board consists of 10 total members. 4 of those are executive members, so the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. We do have our one member or board member filled by Alyssa Basil, who helps organize the apparel sales. But we are looking for 5 voting members on the board, and basically the expectation would be that you would be consistent with coming to the meetings so that we can have the appropriate number of people there, and obviously help as you can with all these different events that we have. As we mentioned, we are going to need assistance with the auction. As we get closer to that, there'll be a lot more things that need to be done, but right now we really need to work on those who are interested in helping get sponsorships or items donated. That's the big thing that we want to tackle right now, so that we're not scrambling at the end next year, because obviously none of us really know what may happen. If you aren't aware, we do a Queen of Hearts every Thursday. That is something that we anticipated doing again. However, it's been another victim of COVID and the fact that we are probably going to have to delay it. If we move forward with that, we are going to need people to help run that on a weekly basis. It's not real difficult. We just need manpower. And then we are going to be offering the yard signs again. That will be coming through probably via email, our membership forms and the yard signs. And we are looking for someone to coordinate that. That is a one-person job. That isn't something that is a lot of work throughout the year. So that's something that we are in need of as well. So if you are interested in any of those positions or just want to get some more information about the association, feel free to email me at the email shown on the slide. We do want to let you know that this Thursday is the last Queen of Hearts drawing of the year, because our raffle license is due. So there will be a winner tonight or Thursday night. So it's a good night to come out and have a good time, or to at least get some tickets to help support the school. The take-home pot is about $1,500 right now, and it will be growing. It is growing as we speak, but we will draw until we find a winner that night. So we really encourage you to share it with people. They do not need to be Heritage student associated, anything like that. It's open to the public, and you can purchase tickets at the bar at G's if you feel more comfortable going there and getting tickets, but don't want to go out for the evening. So again, we welcome you to Heritage. Hopefully we'll have a good fall season, and let me know if you have any questions.
And because I'm not sure if Stacy's going to stay on right now, would be your opportunity to ask any athletic association related questions, either in chat or feel free to unmute and ask. Okay, I'm not seeing any in the chat, and it doesn't sound like anyone's unmuted. So you've got Stacy's email there. Obviously, I can answer any athletic association related question as well. If you think of one between now and whenever, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks, Stacy. Next on the agenda here, I want to give the floor to Dr. Angel Bermudez and from Ascension St. Mary's Sports Medicine, where he's going to give you guys an overview of a really cool sports med thing we've got in place. Dr. Bermudez, feel free to unmute now.
All right, perfect. Just give me 1 second to kind of get things squared away. All right, guys. So like Justin said, my name is Dr. Angel Bermudez. I am a non-operative sports medicine physician practicing here in Saginaw. And I just want to say that we are really happy here at Ascension St. Mary's to be a part of what's going on here at Heritage High School. We're very proud in the fact that we get to have this partnership with Heritage, and that we get to bring a college level vibe and college level feel in terms of athletics and athletic principles to Heritage High School. We are very proud with the fact that they've entrusted us to help provide care and really try to keep your kids healthy and happy and safe while they participate in sport. A little bit about myself. I am a non-operative primary care sports physician. I did my training in West Virginia at Wheeling Hospital. I did my fellowship training in Henry Ford. And during my training, I've worked with Marshall University. I've worked with the team physicians for the Detroit Lions, Detroit Pistons, the Tigers, Wayne State, and a number of high schools, some being in Detroit, like Bloomfield Hills, and then others being in West Virginia. So very familiar with this territory. And I'm excited that Heritage would like to partner with us and allow us to kind of bring that level of care and service to the high school level formally. My team consists of myself, two operative orthopedic sports surgeons, Dr. David Lemos and Dr. Krebs, Nathan Krebs, and they're both board certified orthopedic surgeons with sports fellowships. They've had experience at the NFL level, NHL level, and everywhere in between. I'm saying it kind of comes with the territory and providing sports care and getting additional training. Another member of our team is certified athletic trainer, Toby Blosser. Many of you may know him. He's been in the area for about 30 years. He's had experience at the NFL level, NHL, AHL level, as well as locally with the Spirit and with SVSU. And then obviously everyone knows Kirk. He needs no introduction as he's a beloved member of your staff, and he signed on with Ascension to help continue to bring care. I'd like to kind of get all of this out of the way just to begin. We are here to help. We are not here to compete with your primary care providers. We understand that there's other hospitals here in town and that you have relationships and established care with other providers, and we understand and accept that, and we're very happy to help collaborate and participate in the care of your athletes. We would like to say that we're just an added resource because we do this. This is what we do 100% of the time is sports medicine. Our goal is to keep your kids healthy and safe, and we're going to do that by a number of ways. Some of that will be entailed in game coverage. Others will be in coordinating pre-participation physicals. We know that the kids need them to participate. Obviously not this year, but in years to come, we'll help kind of coordinate some pre-participation physicals. We'd ideally like you to keep those with your medical home and your medical provider. However, we do know that many of you parents will get the phone call or the text message from your kid saying, hey, practice starts on Monday and it's Saturday and I need my form done. And that's where we'll be able to help. Other things that we'll be able to do, provide basically relatively immediate care, be it within 24 hours or 48-hour appointments or same-day appointments. Our goal is to kind of circumvent and have you guys not have to go to the urgent care or the ER after a practice or after a game and just really be available to you guys. We'll also provide baseline concussion testing for you guys. We'll assist in return to play protocol. We'll also assist with the COVID response preparation plan in conjunction with the county health department. And we'll assist Kirk with any kind of issues, questions, comments, concerns, or discrepancies he has regarding return to play with the athletes. And we'll ultimately try to get your athletes cleared and healthy and participating safely. I think I mentioned this already, but baseline concussion testing and post-concussion testing we'll assist with. And we'll also assist with providing some starter medical supplies in the training room so that your athletes have the boots and crutches they need in the event that they twist an ankle or something and need something to temporize them until they can see the doc the next day. Another thing that we do at the college level that we're going to be bringing here is training rooms, and we'll do that in conjunction with Kirk. And basically, as athletes are injured, Kirk can evaluate and treat them. And if he feels that they need to be seen by the doc, we will be, running a small little clinic within the training room at the high school. And parents are welcome to attend, and we can, FaceTime or Skype or use a secure method of running a little clinic visit there. We'll try to do as much as we can inside the training room and as much as we can to kind of keep you guys out of the clinic. But ultimately, if anything needs to be done, MRIs, X-rays, CTs, we'll get it done expeditiously and try to do that in the clinic. Additionally, we'll be around to start providing weekend availability, primarily on Saturday during the fall. and that's just pending, COVID and how things go. So, that's a lot. I'm kind of glad that this is recorded so you guys can play this back and look at it. But there's a lot that we're, really excited to offer and help and really just, participate, with the sports in the community. So with that, I'll turn it over. And if there's any questions, please, feel free to reach out or let me know or get my contact information from Justin.
At the end of the day, our number one priority is safety. And I think this partnership, and of course, I'm a little bit biased, but I think this partnership with Dr. Bermudez and Ascension St. Mary's Sports Med gives us really the most comprehensive sports med services for any high school in the state. As he referenced a few times, it's college level. We've got professional league caliber medical professionals at our, I don't want to say at our disposal, but as a resource for us and for our kids. So I'm really, really excited about that. At this time, while Dr. Bermudez is on, any questions or clarification needed? I'll give a few moments here to unmute yourself and ask any question you might have. Okay, not hearing anything at this time. Oh, is there someone?
Yes, this is Ellen Fragging. I'm curious if our sports medicine team is also going to be advising on COVID prevention strategies in addition to the traditional athletic services they provide.
Sure. So yes, as far as COVID's concerned, we will be working with Justin and the county department to kind of get the best practices out there, whether it's informational flyers or emails for sure. And as updates happen, we will go ahead and relay them to the athletic department and all the parents involved. So that is for certain. Additionally, regarding COVID in terms of testing, I know that that's a big concern. We do have 2 COVID testing centers. One is in Birch Run and one is in Saginaw here off of Gratiot. It's actually where I conduct my weekend clinics. I used to conduct them there, but until then, as it's been converted to a respiratory center for COVID testing, we are not going to have our weekend clinics there to prevent people from coming in and being exposed. But we will have access to availability for tests. So for the most part, for the athletes, Justin has mentioned that they'll go through the county department. However, if there's a need or we have to get them in expeditiously, we do have the resource to do that within our own Ascension COVID testing site. And obviously this is all new and it's going to kind of flow and we'll have, there'll be some, bumps in the road or growing pains, so to speak. But, ultimately we're going to do our best bet and best effort to kind of, keep the kids healthy, keep them safe and get them the care that they need and the testing that they need should it arise.
Are there protocols in place or being worked out in terms of
Sure.
their transmission of the COVID beyond just wearing masks to the sidelines of these?
So I'll actually get into that, but yes, we do have guidelines developed by the CDC and the National Federation of High School State Associations that we've had in place since June and continue to change, and we continue to evaluate. And I'll show you where to find those on our website. We'll actually open those up a little bit later here in this parent meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Check the chat here. Okay. If there's nothing else, of course, feel free to reach out to me. I can connect you with Dr. Bermudez, Toby, or Kirk at any moment. Thanks, Dr. Bermudez.
Thank you.
Okay, office topics. First, we'll get into, just want to let you know, about a year ago, actually, we rolled out a brand new athletic website separate from our district website. You can still get to it from our district website, but I ask you to bookmark heritagehawksathletics.com. I'm going to open that up after we go through a little bit of our update later, but just want you guys to have that address. We post schedules there, we post results there, we post news and information there. There's an opportunity for us to post alerts. It's really a great place to go to check for all the relevant information. And then of course on social media as well. We're at facebook.com/HawksHeritage, and then Twitter we're at Hawks_Heritage. So those are going to be your number one place to go to check for any schedule changes, results, any kind of relevant information at all. That'll be your number one stop there. As I go through these office topics, I will do my best to explain both what happens in a normal year and what's going to happen this year. Obviously, just much different circumstances this year. So as far as attendance and participation goes in any given school year, in a normal school year, I should say, in order for a student athlete to participate in a game or to participate in practice, they need to be at school one half of the school day. The only, of course, there are some circumstances where an athlete can't be there during the school day that would obviously be okay for you to still participate. A funeral, a major doctor's appointment, college visits are sometimes a common one as well. But for the most part, you know, this is talking about if you skip school or if you're too sick to go to school. If you're too sick to go to school, then you're too sick to participate in athletics. I really feel like at the goal of athletics is to support what we do from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So what I tell my coaches is what we do from 3 to 8 needs to support what we're doing from 8 to 3. And so we're student athletes first. Contact information, our contact information is posted here. Obviously, it's posted on our website, but all of our coaches' contact information is posted on the website as well. And again, I'll show you where that's at. Eligibility and grades, and this is not going to be any different this year than any other year. So unless you are a first semester incoming ninth grader this semester, you need to have passed at least 5 classes in your previous semester. So last semester, you need to have passed 5 classes in order to be eligible this semester. So that's called the previous academic records rule. So in order for any student athlete to be eligible for athletics second semester of this school year, they need to pass at least 5 classes this semester. Current academic record, and we will check bi-weekly, which says that you're passing at least 5 classes currently. So if you're failing 2 classes, you are not, when we do our eligibility check, you are not eligible to participate the following Monday through Sunday, even if you do get that grade up. Of course, these are guidelines set forth by the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can check out their minimum standards at mhsaa.com. It's a pretty common question we get, and so I like to share it as many times as possible. But yes, you need to pass classes in a previous semester in order to be eligible in the next semester. Dr. Bermudez kind of hinted at this next point, physicals and health questionnaires. In any normal year, you must have an updated and valid physical for that school year on file in order to even practice or participate in athletics. The cutoff date is April 15th of that year. So, for example, if this was a non-COVID year, you would need to have a physical on or after April 15th of 2020 for this school year. This year obviously is different. I will let you know that the yearly physical requirement by the MHSAA is the strictest in the nation. A lot of states require just one once in your entire high school career. Some are every other year, some every third year. But for us, we want to make sure that our kids are, because so much can change over 2 or 3 or 4 years, that our kids are getting physically fit and medically able to participate. Again, this year, if you have a valid physical on file, including current ninth graders, so White Pine Middle School sent all of the physicals they had of current 8th graders up to us. If we have a valid physical on file from last school year, you do not need one for this school year. What you do need is a health questionnaire. The health questionnaire is available on our website and in our athletic office. Now, there are some questions on that health questionnaire that if you answer certain circumstances, that would require you, even with the health questionnaire, to get a new physical, but those cases are kind of few and far between, and we will communicate that with you. Registration fee on any given year is a flat $100 fee, no matter how many sports you play. That is due this year by September 12th. Typically, that registration fee is due before we set a deadline before any contest, but because this year is a little bit different, that's due by September 12th. If you haven't already, the high school will be sending out information on our drive-through orientation You will have an opportunity to pay that $100 fee during that orientation during the week of September 8th, but you can always log on to Skyward, onto your Skyward account and pay your fee that way tonight if you'd like to. Typically, any student athlete that's failing at least one class during our grade check is required to attend is a mandatory study hall after school. Obviously, we can't have that until we are in person. So we will not have a study hall. What we will do is communicate, and again, this is information that if it hasn't come out already, it will today or early tomorrow about Heritage High School's remote learning plan. We are adding an 8th period, which is like almost like a homeroom check-in period. We will communicate with those the 8th period teachers of any athlete who would typically meet that study hall requirement, just so they can reach out and help them get their grades back up to par so they're playing. Training rules. Training rules were sent out electronically to all coaches who should have shared that with you by now. There is a form that you have to fill out just stating that you are aware of the training rules and that you've read them. Those were due on August 20th, so there should be no participation without these in. Michelle Gaylor, who's our administrative assistant, is communicating with coaches. So coaches should be communicating with your student athlete, but it wouldn't hurt just to touch base with them this evening. Transportation. So typically, again, in a typical year, we provide transportation during the week. We do not provide transportation on Saturdays, and we do not typically offer transportation when we're traveling within the township or within Saginaw. So if we're playing MLS, Valley Lutheran, Swan Valley, or any of the Saginaw public schools, we don't offer transportation. This year with COVID, we are offering transportation still. So I want to touch base about that a little bit. So we are going to use the same protocols and procedures that we were going to use to transport kids to school if we were going to start face-to-face. So the transportation department has what's called an atomizer. It's this machine that sprays disinfectant. That atomizer is used before every use of the bus and after every use of the bus. The bus driver is required to wear both a mask and a face shield, and there are hand sanitizer units installed on every bus. Anyone riding the bus must wear a mask at all times and must sanitize their hands upon entering and leaving the bus. We are going to do our best to provide enough busing to space kids out as much as possible. However, because of budget cuts and whatnot, we also have to keep in mind that we might not be able to afford that. So for now, we are planning, for example, there is the magic number is 40. If we have over 40 kids that are transporting, that we need to transport to event, we will provide 2 buses. Now, in any year, parents are allowed to transport their kids to and from an event. Typically, we like to say if we are providing transportation, unless there's some extenuating circumstance, we would prefer the kids to ride together with their team and with their coaches. We are obviously going to be more lenient on that this year. If you don't feel comfortable, if you feel comfortable enough to allow your kid to participate in athletics, but you're not quite comfortable allowing them to ride the bus, no problem. We do have a form available in the athletic office. Your coaches should have that form, and that form is posted online. We just need that within 24 hours of the event that you are going to transport your kid, or the kid's going to transport themselves. One second here. Okay, thank you. Finally, uniform replacement. There is a uniform replacement fee if you do not hand in your uniform. It's a $100 fee per item. So essentially, just make sure you're handing in your uniforms. We do put any uniforms that aren't, any fees related uniforms or equipment that aren't handed back in will go on your student account. And in a typical year, again, you wouldn't be able to purchase things like homecoming tickets or prom tickets with those fees on your account. So that's just a quick overview of office topics and kind of what you need to know. Now to get into the COVID and MHSAA update, we have had the MHSA, as I mentioned earlier, has worked with the Center for Disease Control and the National Federation of High School Sports to develop guidelines to safely do high school athletics. sports were grouped into 3 groups: low risk, moderate risk, and high risk. And those were, again, categorized by risk of respiratory droplets, of inhaling droplets from another person, again, by the CDC. So right now, the only sports at Heritage that are okay to practice and compete are cross country, girls golf, and boys tennis. Those are low risk sports. They've started competing with safety protocols in place, including competition limits, spectator limits, cleaning and safety procedures. We will open those up, or I will show you how to open those up for your sport specific question. Boys soccer, girls swim and dive, and volleyball are all okay to start practices. However, we are waiting executive orders for soccer in order to allow them to compete in regions outside of regions 6 and 8. Right now, boys soccer can compete in regions 6 and 8 against a team from regions 6 and 8. Same with swim and dive and volleyball. However, swim and dive and volleyball have not been allowed to be in the building yet, so they've been practicing outdoors. The Saginaw Country Club has been very, very gracious in allowing us to use their pool for swim and dive practice in the morning, and volleyball has been doing track work and other work. And just last night, the Athletic Association approved the purchase of 2 outdoor net systems that we will physically install at Heritage that'll be able to be used by PE and by volleyball after the pandemic, but certainly while we are waiting to get into the gym. Football was the only high risk sport in the fall, and that has been moved to the spring. We do not at this time know what that looks like. So the MHSAA will work with the Football Coaches Association and with the committee, including principals, spring coaches, and other kind of relevant stakeholders to create a spring football schedule. The same might be true for soccer, swim and dive, and volleyball. We don't have a definite answer on when this call will be made, but after a call with the MHSAA last Friday, it seems like if we do not get the go-ahead or green light to do those 3 sports in our region or in all other regions, that those would likely be moved to the spring as well. What I can tell you also is that winter sports will probably look a little different. Again, without having any inside knowledge and just interpreting the updates from the MHSAA, the winter seasons will likely be shortened. There will probably be a special fall spring season in March and April and part of May, and then likely a regular spring sports season in May, June, and possibly July. Again, that's just my take on the information that's been provided by the MHSAA. Heritage and White Pine Athletics have adopted the safety protocols and procedures based on the directions provided by the Centers for Disease Control Prevention, the National Federation of State High School Associations, and the Michigan High School Athletic Association. We understand that these safety protocols and procedures won't eliminate all risk. We know that there is risk inherent in participating in athletics related to COVID. These are put in place to mitigate to the best of our possibility. Our coaches are working and have worked very, very hard to adopt these protocols that we've never had to do, to be as safe as possible, and to always evaluate and reevaluate and adjust as needed. Right now, I want to show you our athletic website. So give me a second here to pull that up. And I will show you, I'll give you a little tour of that website. I'm going to start with the COVID stuff. So here's our website, heritagehawksathletics.com. It is laid out by season. So fall season sports are under fall here. Of course, winter under winter, spring under spring. A really good spot for parents to check for things is under this More tab. So under this More tab, if you see here to the right, COVID-19 resources, you can see our athletic department protocols, cross-country protocols, so on and so forth, for all of our fall sports. As we get those protocols provided to us, I will update. I will load those up here as well. So I just want to show you, for example, if I click on athletic department protocols, I'll take you through this document. So over this time, obviously this document will change. Fall athletics will not be risk-free, as I just mentioned, but by following the guidance in this document, we all can help mitigate those risks. We ask that you consider your actions outside of sports during the season in order to limit the potential for exposure in other portions of your daily routine. A lot of questions on what do we do if there's a positive case. So protocol for a positive case is laid out here, the recommendations by the CDC, and I can tell you the first thing that we do is call our Saginaw County Health Department and follow their lead as to who we need to contact, and they work directly with the families as well, who they need to contact, who should quarantine, and what action steps we should take. One note to parents, because I have read that, so what I've been told is there is sort of a COVID detective, if you will, that gets assigned to a case that will reach out to the family and do the sort of detective work related to contact tracing. I've heard that families families have been non-cooperative or not sharing all the information or lying. I do ask that if you or if anyone in your household has COVID-19, that you are 100% cooperative with the county health department as they do their investigation, so that we can keep as many people safe as possible. They aren't out to get anyone in trouble. They're just out to keep people safe. So I do ask that if that does happen to you, and in the unfortunate event that that does happen to you, that you are completely cooperative with the county health department. Face coverings. Athletes, while participating on the field or court, are not required to wear face coverings, but our coaches are. And so we have asked all of our coaches to wear face coverings at all times. We have asked all athletes to wear face coverings until they start their actual physical workout as well. That is definitely an area that we're working with our coaches to improve. They're teenage kids, they need to be reminded. But if we could get your help at home of reminding them as well and sending them to practice with their masks, that would be greatly appreciated. I won't dive deep into this entire thing because we could be here all night, but just know there is pre-workout and pre-game screening that we require of all of our coaches and all of our student athletes. We have started events with other schools. I do require those schools to provide a copy of their pre-screening forms as well. Again, just in the case that we need to do some contact tracing. We will not be providing locker rooms for the time being. And I've worked closely with Buildings and Grounds to make sure that when we are using the outdoor bathrooms, and in the event that we are able to get indoors and open up locker rooms, that we have a really solid cleaning schedule. Again, I don't want to get into too many details here. I don't want to put you guys to sleep, but know that these protocols are posted right on our website, not only for our athletic department, but if you look here, also for each of our fall sports right now. I'd mentioned earlier that the contact information for our coaching staff is posted on our website. That's posted right here. Give you a quick idea of what that looks like. And so any of our head varsity, junior varsity, or freshman coaches are all listed here. If you can't find anyone, or if you want to get in contact with an assistant coach, you could reach out to the head coach of the program, or of course, you can always reach out to us at our office. We are doing our best to keep forms, as you can see down here, updated. Oops, went away there. Forms updated here for your access. We also are, I should mention this, we are right now meeting with vendors. We want to go completely paperless as an athletic department. So this shutdown has really forced us in a good way to evaluate how we do our business, on how we operate on a day-to-day basis, and what we might be able to change and implement even after the pandemic, so that we become more efficient and safer. And so we are looking at going completely paperless for forms, so that parents can upload physicals, fill out training rules forms, fill out any form that you need electronically. So we are not ready to roll that out yet, but we should in the next few months here be able to roll that out. There's a section here for Athletic Association information, and then our advertising and sponsorship informations are located here. Again, I just want to open up, for example, I'll open up boys tennis for the fall here, just so you guys have an idea of what this looks like. Actually, you know what? It's going to be better is if I open up completed seasons. So ice hockey last year did a great job of keeping their site and their web page just comprehensive and uploaded. So here you see the team picture from last year. Here's the latest news. So anything that's related to hockey that gets tagged with hockey gets posted here, including results and game recaps and pictures. If I go to the schedule, and I'm going to have to go to the 2019-2020 school year, you can see that all of the schedule is posted here, including when we can get it, directions to the away meets. Event recaps are posted here throughout the year. They just did a really great job, and even did a good job of uploading their roster here. So it's our goal to get rosters and pictures when possible. Now pictures are a little bit tougher, but definitely rosters posted here. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys saw that website. You guys can see our Twitter feed here. Has relevant information as well. It gets posted there, and this information also gets posted to our Facebook page. Okay, a lot of information there. It's 6:40, so I'm gonna allow for about 10 to 15 minutes of any kind of questions that you guys may have related to anything we covered today. Feel free to unmute or leave it in the chat, and I will do my best to keep up with you guys. What kind of questions do we have? So I've got a question in the chat. When do we expect an executive decision? That's a tricky question. I don't have the answer to that, unfortunately. We have been expecting for the last few weeks now, actually, further guidance on things like spectators and what competitions can happen and what can't. We are hoping to get something by the end of the week, and if we don't, then likely, then that might not bode well for some of the sports. But again, as I get that information, I try to share it out I try to read it first and then share it out with my coaches, and then we try to get that information out to the public. So a long-winded answer for I'm really not sure, Barb. Any other questions? Sounded like someone wanted to ask a question. Someone unmuted themselves. Feel free to shoot away.
Hello, Justin. This is Eric Smith. How are you?
Hey, doing well, Eric. How are you?
Good. Question, in the event that we are approved for competitions, whether it's now or in the spring, will there be any kind of additional protocols in place for the team, or any kind of communication between teams relative to, if any cases have been identified, or any way to identify people that may have high temperatures before a competition or anything like that?
Yep. So the MHSA has provided an event pre-screening form. I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember what they call it, but essentially, it's a pre-screening form that every single individual, they record their name, they ask the screening questions, and then they record the temperature. Anyone with over 100.3 temperature is sent home, or are not allowed to. Essentially, when parents are called, they got to be picked up and they got to go home. There is not a standard requirement or protocol from the state on who collects those or who keeps those. I will tell you that every event that we've had, just a few events right now, but our plan and what I've done with it's only been tennis so far, but I've required those schools to provide a copy of their pre-screening form to our coaches or to our event staff to make sure that everyone's good to go. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Anything else? Okay, well, it's about 6:45, so we can sign off at this point. This was recorded. I will post it. Again, big message here is to make sure you check our website. That's really where I'm trying to drive people to get all the information. Our office number is listed right there. If you guys have any questions, have any concerns that maybe you don't feel comfortable, asking in front of the group, I totally understand. Feel free to shoot me an email. I'm going to leave my email in the chat right now, since I do see that it's not listed here. And then, of course, my number is here. Feel free to give me a call as well. I'll be happy to share any kind of information or answer any questions that you guys may have. I appreciate you jumping on this virtual meeting. Again, if nothing else, then we can sign off at this time. Thanks, everyone.